of the beast, exactly as in Revelation 13 verse 17.
Go ahead.
The next verse goes on to identify the number of the beast man, as being 666. And yet, this is the sum of the Hebrew letters in Neron Caesar. Whatever other application these verses may be seen to have to Catholic persecution.
What I want y'all to see with this article, y'all can look it up yourself. They had to confess Caesar was Lord in order to buy and sell. They had to have the Roman coin that says Caesar is Lord in order to buy and sell. That's what they did to the Christians. And this is talking about our people. Give me the next article. There's another one.
666.
Raise it up. Zoom in. Let me see where I want to start. No, I don't want that up there. What is Revelation? Let's start.
What is Revelation? The book of the Bible called Revelation was originally a letter written in the 1st century by a man named John while living in exile on the island of Patmos to 7 churches in the Roman province of Asia. Revelation 1 and 4. Ancient and modern interpreters have typically dated Revelation.
Right. Hey, raise it up. Let's get to the point. It says needed to buy and sell. Raise it up. Raise it up. Raise it. 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 Did we just miss it? Go back down. It said needed to buy and sell.
You passed it. The second beast out of the earth.
No. It says needed to buy and sell. Let me see. Lower it. Right there. Go ahead. Read right there.
Needed to buy and sell. While the word mark clearly has symbolic meaning, what if it also has literal meaning? After all, John says that his contemporaries were unable to buy or sell without this mark. The word for mark in the Greek is charagma, which means engraved, etched, or imprinted. Around the time that Revelation was written, the Roman currencies being used had engravings of Caesar on them.
That's what we read earlier. Go ahead.
Mark 12:16. During Nero's reign, his portrait appeared on coins, appearing like the god Apollo, often inscribed with the words, Son of God. To John, as a former Jew, this was considered blasphemous.
Read. Come on, man.
Verse 4. Everyone, rich and poor, slave and free, had to use this Roman currency, marked with the image of Nero. Rome openly proclaimed that its rulers, the Caesars, were divine gods or sons of God. All those under the jurisdiction of Rome, such as the early church, were required by law to publicly proclaim their allegiance to Caesar by burning a pinch of incense and declaring Caesar is Lord.
Y'all see that? Go ahead.
Let's do this. Fair use. Shalom. First thing and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Blessings and salutations be to the hopeful elect. Noah's in this gospel, broad, lifting up the standard of Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is another lesson through the Spirit. Once again, fair use. I tend not to make any money off this video. This is not for profiting or gain or any type of nefarious purposes, but this is just to edify a group based on biblical eschatology, which is another way of saying the end times, all right? Now, the problem with this lesson, and we finna get into it. Salakia, let me get comfortable. But, see, this is what happens when you have a guy that's hell-bent on pushing false narratives and false doctrine. This is the IUIC, which we know is the leader of that organization. Is by the name of General or Bishop Nate or Nathaniel Alaga or Nathaniel, whichever title he chooses to go by, because we know he switched up several times as far as his moniker of his name, which the scriptures say, meddle not with them that's given to change, but, you know, whether neither here nor there. But this guy refuses to teach Revelation 13 and 16 the proper way because of his hatred for the men of the Lord, starting with the apostles of the Most High, or the apostles of Great Millstone on down. The reason why he's going scorch earth, trying to find a loophole into this whole Revelation 13:16, it not being a chip, is because he took a bag, man. And one thing about it, when you want the 501c3 tax exemption status, you have to teach what the government wants you to teach in order to keep your tax exemption status. Okay, so he's going scorch earth to try to debunk everything we say, but yeah, he's waxing worse and worse, because this breakdown that he's giving of Revelation 13 and 16 is talking about a future time period. And what really cuts that is really the whole entire chapter, but starting at verses 14 and chapters 14 cut this, man. Because if this was the case, because Revelation 13 and 16 has nothing to do with Nero. All right. He got some convoluted Google breakdown going into the history of Nero Caesar, which we didn't say that, which we're not saying that Nero didn't enforce a particular standard on people at that time, because that's what the Romans did. Okay. Just like today in the Americas, man. You can't speak on any other god or any other person coming to overthrow their society. This is why we are being labeled domestic terrorists, man. But another thing, too, what you have to understand, during the time of Rome, you had classes as well. Okay, you had what they call a monarchy, which is basically the 1%, the elite class of that time. And then you had the delegates, the subjects, the slaves, which were the Israelites. And you had other nations. Well, you had Edomites, too, that wasn't well off in Rome. But mainly Jake was tributary to Rome, man. And if you were speaking against the Roman Empire, then they'll put you to death. And that's well-known, documented facts, man. Okay? Watch the movie Gladiators 1 and 2. Watch the watch the movie The Rome. Just watch anything regarding the gladiators or the Christians in Rome, and it will go into how the Israelites were persecuted, man. So he brought out this whole document that says everyone rich and poor and slave and free had to use Roman currency marked with the image of Nero. Okay, big deal. If I pull a fucking dollar out of my pocket, isn't that a picture of Caesar on the picture, or a picture of Esau on the money, which is the world's reserve currency? Okay, you have to use US dollars in America, because I can't go and use a Chinese yuan in America. Why? Because they don't have any value here, man. Okay, and if I go outside of America, then if I get the one, I have to convert it over into USD. So how is this any different, bro? Yahushua even said it. He said that, hey, give unto Caesar what's Caesar. He said, whose face is on the money? It was Caesar's, right? Now, when you look at the dollar bill, you got the modern day Caesars on there, or the modern day pharaohs, whether it be Thomas Jefferson, whether it be Andrew Jackson, okay, whether it be Lincoln, whatever president that they got on the money, that's what's on your currency. Okay, and as by law, you have to use U.S. currency. Even though you have other world currencies, most people convert their currencies into USDs because it's more cheaper to use the U.S. dollar. Like if I go down to the Philippines, or if I go down to Dominican Republic, right? Or let's say if I go to Mexico and I use the pesos, I would have to convert that currency over to U.S. dollars because I get more bang for my buck. So how the hell is this any different, man? See, but this is what happens when you have a group that's hell-bent on trying to destroy Yahweh Bashim Yahweh's name first and foremost. And they don't even use the name of the Heavenly Father. Okay? And what's so spiritual about this, too, is because we believe that Nero is Trump. So that same ordeal that Nero came with, those draconian measures, hey, you got this guy by the name of J.D. Vance, and then also you got Donald Trump, which we believe is Nero. Okay, our brother put his suggestion out there that he felt that this Vance character may be Titus coming back. And we know that Titus, Vespasian, and Domitian Caesars, they put hell on Jake, man. Okay, and what's the chances you got this guy, Tom Homan, that's pretty much going to be Trump's border czar, which he can't stand you tribes. So that go that duo there. But when you read here, it says Rome openly proclaimed that its rulers, the Caesars, were divine gods or sons of gods. But don't the elites do the same thing today? And it says all those that were under jurisdiction of Rome, such as the early church, were required by law to publicly proclaim their allegiance to Caesar by burning a pitch of incense and declaring Caesar is Lord. Upon compliance, that is law, and the people were given a papyrus document called the Lilibus, which I had to look that up. But it says which they were required to present when either stopped by the Roman police or attempting to engage in commerce in the Roman marketplace, increasing difficulty of buying and selling in the market. But that's not the mark of the beast, man. Okay, that's not the charagma. Because when you go down, it says, what's more, worshiping or not worshiping, an empire and Caesar became quickly dividing the line between the people who would be considered the community and who wasn't. But I want to go back. And you know what? And he really cuts himself. And I want to look this document up because, see, he tried to use this. And I don't know if they're going to go into it. But if we can fast forward just a little bit, he may go into it. Let me see something real quick. Okay, he didn't go into it. It stayed here. But if you could pay attention, it says this will be equivalent to having to pledge your allegations to the American flag before going into a grocery store. But they had something which is called the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay, I don't know if they do it in school anymore, but every morning when we started school, we had to recite our allegiance to the flag. And if you didn't stand up, they'll fucking kick your ass out of school. So how is that equate with the mark of the beast outside of it being a draconian method, man? Okay, because if you saying that this was the fulfillment of Revelation 13 and 16, you going off. But what's so spiritual about it is because if Nero enforced these strict measures on our people, then what make you think he's not going to do it again? Because he went into the concept of charagma, which means etching under the skin or implementation of a device under the skin. He used that when they basically used the Roman currency of that time, which is the denarius, which you have carved sculptures. Or if you look at a quarter today and you look at the president's face on a quarter, it's a carved sculpture on there, man. And it's the same thing that it was in Rome. But in Rome, they didn't necessarily put anything under your skin, man. So you can't say this and use this breakdown to try to debunk Revelation 13 and 16 just to get out of teaching your followers that taking an RFID chip is going to be a sin into destruction, man. And that's how these guys are. These dudes are fucking, hey, these dudes are they're like foxes, man. All right. But this is a good point. Everyone rich and poor, free and slave had to use Roman currency marked with the image of Nero. That's very spiritual, though, because, hey, if Trump gets in, hey, he can very well push that chip. Lord's will. So that's the good thing about it. So you've already done trapped yourself up, man. All right. But anyway, let's look this here. I looked up this article. It says GotQuestions.org. Now, it says, who's the beast of Revelation? And they completely go off. But it says, during the future tribulation period, the world will be, it says the future. Okay, that's the key. Anybody, even Christians, agreed with this, that anybody that reads the book of Revelation or the book of Revelation is predominantly future prophecy, even though you have a lot of history in the book of Revelation. But majority of the book of Revelation, most people would agree that it's talking about this time we living in now. Okay, but it says the world will be ruled by a godless man presiding over an evil governmental system, which they talk about the Antichrist. But there's no such thing as the Antichrist, as there have been many Antichrists. Okay, this guy, Bishop Nathaniel, he's one of the biggest Antichrists in Israel, or anti-Hamashiach, because actually he uses the word Christ. So he will be a pro-Christ, man, because he believes in the name of Jesus Christ instead of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai. And that's another thing he goes off on. But it says the Bible associated this end time ruler with the terrible beast in Revelation and in Daniel, which Daniel gives you the tale of 4 rising empires on the planet Earth and one that was going to rule prior to the return of Yahweh Shai. Okay, Daniel prophesied against the Babylonians. He told you about the Persians and the Medes. Okay, he told you about the Medo-Persian Empire. He went into the Greeks, and also he went into the Romans. And those are those 4 beasts that you read about in Daniel, the 7th chapter, man. And also when you go into Daniel, the 2nd chapter. Okay, when it goes into the bear with the three wing. Wait, what? Roughly paraphrasing it. I think matter of fact, let's just get it real quick. I don't want to botch that. We'll come back. Yeah, I don't want to botch that. You know, it's just easier to go to it. And we're going to get it real quick. But this is the book of Daniel 7. And I'm going to start at verses 4. It says, the first was like a lion that had eagle's wings, man. This is talking about the Babylonians. It says, and I held to the wings thereof were plucked, and it was lifted from the earth and made a stand upon the feet as a man, and a man's heart was given into it. It says, and another beast, a second like a bear, and it raised up itself on one side, and it had 3 ribs in the mouth of it, between the teeth of it, and they said unto it, arise and devour much flesh, which goes into the Medo-Persians, man. And then it goes into the Greeks and then the Romans. Okay, so Daniel gave the tale of 4 beasts, which was to rule And this major beast, or this main beast, or the fourth beast, which is diverse from all beasts, being the current Roman Empire. Okay, and Nate cuts himself, because if you go here to the book of Revelation 13, and I'm going to start at verses 11, it says, "And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, but he spake as a dragon," going into the political systems. Okay, as we know that the Romans had what they call the plebeians and the patricians. You also have the Democrats, you have the Republicans, and you got some people that claim, I believe they vote, what's it called, like independence or some shit. I don't know. Whatever they choose to do when they choose whatever candidate. But it says that he exercised all the power of the first beast that was before him. So Revelation 13 goes into the beast, or the fourth. This is talking about the fourth empire, man. Okay, this is talking about the Roman Empire. That's why it says he had exercised all the power of the first beast before him, and caused the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed, which is the Roman Empire. Okay, so if Nero, in fact, incorporated these draconian measures on Israelites at that time, what make you think that they're not going to do it now, but under a more technocratic development, so to speak? Because right now we're living in a technocracy, man. This fourth industrial revolution. And it says, and he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. And the Romans wasn't doing that. I mean, yeah, they had their cannonballs and all that other shit they was using during the time of war, but you can't find a time in history that the Romans actually shot a nuclear or atom bomb, or donated some type of Tomahawk missile or Bosnia bombing. That didn't happen back then. Okay, the most the Romans was fighting was with flaming arrows and swords and bucklers and shields, and maybe wait, did they even have cannonballs during the time of the Romans? I don't think so. No, they didn't have cannonballs. Slack, I'm going off. But flaming arrows, man. Okay, but it says here, "And deceived them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had wound by a sword and did live." And that's the cut, because everybody can agree that the Roman Empire fell. Okay, I believe it was the Western Roman Empire. Then you had the Holy Roman Empire, which was led by Jake, which is known the Byzantine Empire, which is ran by so-called Negroes. That was Israelites, man. But it's well-documented facts that the first half of the Roman Empire fell, all right? And right now we're in the rebirth of the new Roman Empire, which is this Renaissance period, this current American structure. Okay, NATO, EU, all the European allies, America, Canada, and everywhere where you look where NATO and EU resides, mainly the European Union, if you look up the ancient Roman Empire, it's pretty much the same circumference, man. Okay, like you got the you got the what you call the Lombards, you got those vassal nations. Okay, you got fucking Poland today, you got England, you got Ireland, you got fucking Great Britain, you have Spain, you have France, Italy. But when you go back into those ancient nations, man, okay, you got the what is it called, the Visigoths, you got the Gauls. Okay, you have what they call the Lombards. You have all these ancient nations, okay, which of those particular tribes, which modern day would be the EU, man. So it's the same landmass for the most part, even though they've conquered more of Europe, because at that particular time, when Rome was in power, or the first Rome, I would say, they conquered the known world at that time. But now the Roman Empire has pretty much conquered the whole entire earth. And this is why they're declaring war on these Arab nations, because they want to make this whole entire world under Roman rule, man. Okay? But it says here, "And he had the power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, and cause that as many as will not worship the image of the beast should be killed." And the image of the beast is this system. Okay? This tax penal code system, this fucking the chip. All of it plays an image, man. Just the fact that you're using the currency, that all goes into the image, man. Okay, the image is not Caesar Borgia or Serapis, as some Israelite groups used to teach. Oh, the image is Caesar Borgia. No, that's not the image, man. Okay, now that's part of the deception which makes up the image, but the image is not white Christ, man, not white Jesus. Okay, the image is this system. And it reads, "And he causes both all small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hands or in their foreheads." All right, now when you go into the word mark, okay, because they had awls back in the day, you know, when they will pierce particular servants, or they will brand them, Like even in slavery, they would show when they brand their slaves, they would take like one of those instruments and they'd put like some coal or some heat to it, and they would stamp their slaves. Okay? Like their cattle, you have what they call an awl, which is basically an earring, man. But a digital awl is going to be in the form of that charagma. And that's quite evident, especially with the way that the world is moving today. So if he can't see that, it's because he's sold out. So what he's going to do, he's going to go around every method to try to debunk or disprove that this is talking about the time we're getting ready to shortly be among, man. Because when you go into the word mark, it goes into charagma, which means a stamp or imprinted mark, a mark branded upon horses or things carved, sculptured, graven work, or idolatrous images, man. Okay, and how do they get that chip? They got to put it underneath your skin. All right. It says here, charagma, from the same as G5482, a scratch or etching, a stamp or a badge of servitude or sculptured figure, graven mark. And a modern day allegiance tool will be to take the chip, man. How else is this going to be fulfilled? So you can't really apply this to Nero, even though the concept was similar, but they didn't have digital technology then. And even if they did do this back then, what are they going to do today? So either way it go, you still checkmate, bro. Because you still missing a big part of history that you're convoluting, bro. This is why we tell you, man, that dude Nate, man, hey, he ain't right. That nigga ain't right, man. All right? But anyway, and it says, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. And what proves this, that this is talking about a future time, this was written after Nero, bro. I think this was written, matter of fact, let's do this, man. Because this dude man, look. I believe during the time of this was written during the time of Domitian Caesar. So let's look up the order of Caesars that rule. Order of 12 Caesars. Caesars of Rome. All right, let's look up here and see what it gives us. Overview of the first 12 Roman emperors. All right, so let's look this here. Let's go to Wikipedia. Because, see, this is how you catch a nigga up. All right, because he's trying to grease. I mean, even if you did use that, you can't apply that because Revelation, this is future prophecy, man. All right, so let's look. Okay, you got Galba. Okay, hold on, man. What the fuck? The 12 Caesars. Okay, bingo. It says the 12 biographies, and this is, by the way, you want to know about Second Edges 11 and 12. This is pretty much in a nutshell. It says the 12 biographies, and this is in order: Julius Caesar and the first 11 emperors of the Roman Empire. Okay, it says here you got Augustus, you got Tiberius, Caligula, Claudius, Nero, Galba, Otho, Vitellius, Vespasian, Titus, and Domitian. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So wait a minute, man. Nero came before Domitian, before the Revelation was written. Revelation was written in 96 AD, which is during the time of Domitian Caesar. So how the fuck can you equate that to Nero, man? Because look, it says here, Nero, Claudius, Caesar, Augustus, Germanicus. Okay, which is Donald Trump. He looks just like DJ. Eagle face. with that big ass head. But it says December 15 AD 37 on June the 9th to 68 AD was Roman emperor and the final emperor of the Julio-Claudian dynasty, reigning from 54 until 86 AD, man. So wait a minute. Let's see when the book of Revelation was written. And they're going to say roughly around 96 AD. See, this is how you catch a rat in a trap, man. When was the book of Revelation written? Okay. Let's see here. Some scholars say Bingo. It says the bulk of traditional sources date the book to the reign of the Roman Emperor Domitian. He ruled after Nero, which evidence tends to confirm Roman Emperor between 81 AD 81 to 96 AD, which evidence trends to confirm. Okay, so wait a minute. If this was the case of this, Nero didn't come out of power to roughly 67, 68. Because, matter of fact, let's go back here. Titus and Vespasian. Let's do this. 12 Caesars. Bam. So you had Nero, Galba, Otho, Vitellius, Vespasian, Titus, Domitian. And Domitian, 96 AD. So you can't use that, bro. That's Greece. He tried it, though. But anyway, it says he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or on their foreheads, that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Okay, here is wisdom. Let him have understanding and count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 603 score and 6. Okay, which you go into the UPC codes, man, it adds up to 666. And we went into this whole breakdown about the shy, desire, and stigma. Okay, you got the stigma, which means something you impose, or something like something called a stigmatism. Or it was a movie called Stigmata that came out in 1999. It was based on the Roman Catholic Church and a demon possession, and he had a bunch of marks on him, man. Like a stigma means you have a particular mark or a stamp on you. Okay, and then you go in Xi, which means, I believe, matter of fact, let's look this up. 603 score and 6. I know we went into this several times. But you literally Xing out the Messiah. Like you got shy, Xi, and stigma. Let's see something real quick. Yeah, they don't really give you too much, man. I'm trying to find shy. Bingo. Let's go here. Bingo. Okay. Absolute Greek alphabet. Stigma. Let's look this up real quick. So you gotta do digging because they changed this shit. A stigma, a mark of disgrace associated with a particular circumstances, quality of person. Okay, a shame, a mark, a stigma. And this blue letter, it kind of revises because they go in and they change shit. What is thy in Greek? Psi. Greek system. Let's see something here. And we know that when you go into it, I know when you go in shy, I know something means to X out like the Messiah. But I'm trying to remember. Asclepius. Let's go to here. Because if you look here at the shy and the Xi, if you look at the wait, you got Xi stigma. You look at this middle mark here, it looks like a 3. That looks like the staff of Asclepius, man. And if anybody knows that that's associated with the medical system today, and the Greeks believed in something called the god of Asclepius, which is their god of healing. You know? Hold on, I'm just experimenting with some things. We're gonna get right back into it. Cause like I said, they changed this shit around so much. Because, you know, they know that, you know, people are catching on to it. That's not what I'm looking for. Let's do this. Delete that. here and delete that. Zai says multiple means. Physics, uppercase, donation, certain distributions. Yeah, they not really giving you anything definitive. But they use this for the medical system as Asclepius, right? Now it goes into the Xi letter, right? Greek alphabet. Yeah, they just give you a bunch of generic shit, but we've broke it down several times, man. But let's look up the Greek god of healing, Greek god of medicine. Bingo. Asclepius, right? Now you look at that. What a chant, he look like Caesar Borgia, right? Asclepius, but if you look at the imaging, it looks like a serpent. Looks like the Greek word Xi, right? This is what you see on the Blue Cross Blue Shield, all that bullshit. Matter of fact, look at this. Blue Cross Blue Shield, right? What do we have here? The staff of Asclepius, right? Look at this. Bingo. Looks pretty damn familiar, don't it? Okay. Anyway, like I said, Nate is deceiving the people. And another thing that cuts him too, Revelation 14, and let's start at verses 9. It says, and a third angel followed them, saying with the loud voice, of any man worship the beast in his image and receive of his mark, which that word mark is charagma in the Greek. And I believe it's also another one too when it goes, I think, what was it? I can't recall it, but I know that Apostle Tahar went into it as well. But it says, if any man worship the beast in his image and received of his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same should drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. Wait a minute. So if this happened back then, where was the lake of fire? When did this happen? When did the angels judge? Or when was there some type of big lake of fire over the Roman Empire that people that took that chip or whatever you want to call it back then was burnt up? There's no time in history. And it says, and he should be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And the Lord is so cold because you have to come face to face with this, because it's thoroughly detailed. Because ain't no way in hell you can use that to grease your way out of this, because either way it go, you use that, you still got to talk about what happens in the future. What's going to be the digital or what's going to be the new all or digital ordeal that's going to make people in tandem with this beast system, bro. See, he can't answer that, and he won't answer that because he's got to come to the realization that it's the chip. Okay, it ain't money. Now, it will be used as a form of currency, but it ain't embargo. It ain't Christianity. It ain't sin. But even then, let's just say if you are teaching that it happened then, so how you going to get out of the fact that you said it was sin all those times? You see how he's contradicting himself? But it says, and he should be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And their smoke of their torment is sent up forever and ever. And they had no rest day nor night who worship the beast in his image and whosoever received the mark of his name. When did this happen, bro? Never did. All right. One more precept and I end it, man. He can't get around this. This is the book of 2 Corinthians 4. And I'm going to start at verses 4. It's 4 and 1. It says, therefore, seeing we have this ministry, as we have received mercy, we faint not. And the fact that we have this truth, this understanding, that's merciful in itself. But yet you got guys taking advantage of Yahweh Shai, man, by not even using the name. It says, but have renounced the hidden things of dishonesty, which you haven't done, not walking in craftiness, nor handling the word of Yahweh deceitfully, which you clearly are doing, but by manifestation of the truth, commending ourselves to every man's conscience in the sight of the Most High. But if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost, in whom the God of this world have blinded the minds of them which believe not. Because a lot of them guys that follow Nate, his detective, his police force, because they ain't nothing but a bunch of damn cops anyway, which I believe, hey, they're lost, man. And they're deceiving you people because they only care about money. Lest the light of the glorious gospel of Yahweh Shai, who is the image of Yahweh, should shine into them, man. All right. So this dude is done, man. All right. Anybody continues to listen to him, then hey, so be it. But I'm gonna end it giving all praises and glory and honor that's due to you. How about you, How shy? Lord's will you will edify until the next lesson.